What is happening? This is going to be another fairly quick one, in part because that's just the way that my day is going. I've been a little bit behind all day, but in another part, because I don't think that there is so much to say on this topic as I thought there might be. So during the day, I've kind of reviewed a lot of different things. I'll start off by saying back in the day, I was the biggest Kanye fan that you would ever meet. I had all his albums. I watched all his interviews. I saw him on what is it? Def Poetry, High Chocolate. Um Man, I loved his music. I saw him on Wild 'N Out, anything. I loved the his art, graduation, college dropout. I still like his music as a matter of fact. Hi Kira. I have to be honest and say I can't invest in him too much anymore. I was actually, when I was about to make this video throughout the day, hi Shy, I was looking at some Kanye stuff over the last several years, jumping up on stage. Beyonce has the best video of all time, whatever. The whole thing with George Bush, talking about George Bush doesn't care about black people, the MAGA hat, the incident at TMZ with Van, where he was like, 400 years of slavery, that seems like a choice to me. There's a large, long history of Kanye antics. And yes, hi to everyone who's coming in the chat. Thanks for the reminder, Chocolate, because I know that I don't be saying that lately. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm coming on. Kanye is iconic, but I can't emotionally invest in him, Kira. I really can't. I really can't emotionally invest in him. I can't deny his history, his talents, his artistry, but I can't emotionally invest in him. There's too much going on. And I was just talking to Van Hoot actually on Instagram, and I was telling him my view of him changed a little bit watching the documentary, watching his documentary on Netflix, which he doesn't like. He doesn't support apparently. I don't know if that's his documentary or if there were things that were thrown in there that he didn't know about. Hi Dite. But one thing that I noticed that was constant in his documentary was that it highlighted his relationship with his mother. And I feel like while his mother believed in him, his mother instilled confidence in him, she also kept him level. She kept him aware of himself and his standing in the world. There were parts of it where he was like, "Mom, do you think that I'm being too much here?" And she would be like, "No." Or she would be like, "Yes," depending on what it is. I think he doesn't have people like that in his life at this time. I think at this time, he got rid of those people because I've seen many interviews from people like Dave Chappelle, Jamie Foxx, a lot of what's his name, Most Def, a lot of people that were really good close friends of his, Common, who are like, I love Kanye, but Kanye kind of keeps me over here. Like once in a while, we're in the same circle. Once in a while, I might speak to him on the phone, but he's kind of over here. He's kind of this larger than life personality. So I know that I've talked about everything about these white, except for these White Lives Matter shirts. It's because I don't place a high amount of importance in a way to that. And the reason why I'm saying that is that I see it no different than him being like, I love Donald Trump, putting on the MAGA hats and all that other stuff. I was reading people screen capturing his stories and his Instagram stories. Yeah, he's lost. I was reading that people were saying in his Instagram stories that he wants to challenge people, free thinkers, and blah blah blah, and he's a free thinker. I feel like he's just a rebel, and what I mean by that, somebody who just goes against the grain on purpose, not because they're really standing strong for something, but just because, well, everyone else is doing this, I want to be abstract and be over here. And now, before, when Black Lives Matter was not a trending thing, he was all pro black, and he was all for the people. And then all of a sudden, when it became trendy, he was like, I want to stand over here because that's not popular for my people anymore. Yeah, definitely when his mom passed, definitely did take, like, I know that a part of him is clear to see. That is clear to see. And it looks like mostly his circle now is enablers. There are people who aren't really going to tell him, "Hey Kanye, you're doing too much here. You need to have some more responsibility. Here's some common sense for you." Like he's smart, but he's not too self-aware. And I guess you have to be when you're a billionaire. You can operate in that space where you're not really seeing the world how everyone else sees it. It always has to be a show with Kanye, and that's the scary part too, Shy, is that I've seen several interviews where he said he doesn't believe that he has a mental health disorder. I'm not his doctor, I'm not his psychiatrist, but just if you look at the patterns of the things that he's doing, anyone can see that. The man needs help. And the thing about him is that he's so powerful and influential in this world. So there are people that look at him as their example of the way they want to live their life and the things that they want to do with their life. But not all of us can do the things that he's able to do. Because in a way, once you get that level of money, there's some privilege that comes with it. So he can do anything he wants basically without too much consequence. Like there might be some personal consequences to him, but he's still going to live his life. His lawyers are going to take care of whatever he needs to take care of. Yeah, so basically, my thoughts about it are it's just another attention grabber. People are saying that it's some deep thing that makes you have to think and open up these conversations. He put a post in his stories that was like, Black Lives Matters is a scam. It's over now. You're welcome. He has his own platform. He's a millionaire. And this is the part that makes me sad. And this is the reason why I say I can't invest in it. Because I was very invested in this guy for a long time. Most rappers that I like to listen to, I'm just like, their music is cool. I'm not somebody who really invests that much in celebrities, but all the different things that he was saying, I'm like, this guy is an inspiration. This is somebody that I kind of look up to. And when each thing happened and each event in the media, I was just like, he's going through something. He lost his mom. There's a lot going on with him, mental health issues. The problem for me is he doesn't take any ownership of what he's doing. He thinks he's always right. He thinks he's always right. Anytime somebody challenges him, he thinks they're stupider than him, or he just thinks that they don't. He's just talking on this different wavelength, so they don't understand him. Art. I can understand what he's saying when it comes to his art. I don't always understand his art. Art is not really something necessarily for another person to really interpret like that. Because one artist can look at another artist's work and not understand what the original artist intended because that's their own thoughts and that's their own mind. But people talk to him about being self aware. and they tell him that he has lost touch, and he doesn't agree. He doesn't agree. And I think that the people that tell him that, he's just like, you gotta go. I can get other people. And there's always going to be people that are going to be or want to be around the billionaire, and they'll be yes men for him. I just hope that, he does this every. I know chocolate is it draws a stir, it draws attention. I'm glad you said that because that was actually the point that I was trying to get to. That he uses the power that he is now seen that he has by doing these things. He uses the power for his sales. He uses the power for his sales. Like he'll throw on the MAGA hat and then he'll drop an album or he'll do. Remember, he did the concert. He did the Larry Hoover concert with Drake right after he had the supposed beef with Drake. I was watching this thing with Drake and I was like, I don't really think this is real. And then a couple of weeks later, it's like, oh, we're having a fundraising concert for Larry Hoover. That's a big thing to do and did not just get planned in a couple of weeks. I remember even going way back, if you guys remember this, him and 50 Cent were dropping their album on the same day. And they created a contest or whatever where they said whichever one of them sells the most albums on that day, or I don't know, first week or something like that, the other one retires. It got them both a lot of buzz. They're both still here and nobody retired. The world that we live in now, a lot of things, the media, they do behind the scenes, basically. They do behind the scenes. Let me see these comments. Hi, Shy. Hi, Dite. Kim taught him well. Yeah, Kim knows all about the promotion. Like when she put on the picture of the Yeezy glasses or whatever in the midst of their divorce stuff. And people were like, wait a minute, she's wearing Yeezy glasses. Kim is those two as a couple, shoot. Van Hood, I mentioned you. I mentioned that I was speaking to you about this a little bit earlier. Yeah, so I don't really have a ton of thoughts on that, but I just wanted to touch on that subject. And yeah, I'm going to stay here for a little bit if you guys have some more comments. He does things and says things because he knows it's going to be an eye catcher and people are going to go for it. I agree. I'm not sure which post, but if it's about this same subject, I've probably seen it because I've seen several things about this and nothing really moves me about it. It's his typical blueprint. Do something to cause a stir, cause a buzz, and then tell you about the deep meaning behind it and say you're not a free thinker if you don't agree with what he said. Now, this white lives matters, blue lives matters, all lives matter stuff, I don't even like getting on the subject because I have lots of friends or former friends that I had before that time that are not my friends now due to the things they said in 2020. To be honest with y'all, those times really exposed a lot of people. Those times really exposed a lot of people that were around and you've known for a while, but never really knew their stances on those matters. To make an anti-Black Lives Matter movement. And a lot of times people that are doing YouTube also having their title special things. Yeah. Um I don't know if you're telling me that I should do that. I mean, I know that I could do people do thumbnails and stuff like that, but I can't really I don't really like doing pictures and titles that are misleading because I know some people that actually do misleading kind of thumbnails and then people come in there and they're like this that was clickbait. I really don't want to be one of those clickbait type of channels, although I know that that gets people views, but I'd rather do this a slow, difficult way than to do it like that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks everyone for coming in advance. Absolutely. Kim does the exact same thing when she's marketing, but the difference between her and Kanye is she's not throwing her people under the bus. Yeah, it must be hard to be Kanye's friend. Did you see when he was making the album how he got all together and he got all these different verses and then he was just trashing the people whose verses he didn't like? Oh, this person was trash. This person was garbage. Yes, they did, unfortunately. Yeah, I saw a lot of people used this Kanye thing as clickbait. I saw a lot of people use this Kanye topic as clickbait. I wish I could talk about something more positive with regards to Kanye. I know he's not all bad. I know he does some charity work and he gives back in Chicago, but he always makes these grand gestures and grand statements that really overshadow the qualities that you want to focus on with him. So did Bill Cosby what? Oh, that's a whole that's a whole subject in itself. That is a whole subject in itself. Help make Sesame Street, which has shown to increase childhood reading rates. Yeah, he did a lot of things. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's just that I know that I don't have enough time to even go down that rabbit hole. His parents were Black Panthers. What is going on? Fat Albert, Cosby Show. I was upset when they canceled the Cosby Show and took it off the air. And they still want this man. What is he, almost 90? They still want to lock this man back up. Anyways, y'all, wasn't trying to do, wasn't for you to do. I was just saying people also, you know who is like that, in my opinion, did they? Candace Owens. That's the way that because I remember the first time I saw a Candace Owens video, I was like, oh, what are you talking about? I disagree with everything that you're saying. And then I started to realize she made a whole career off of saying these off the wall, against the grain, against the culture things, and has a huge following because of it. Either a following of white people that are like, oh, I like her, she's different than the rest of them, or a following of black people who are like her, or a following of people who hate her so much that they want to watch everything that she's saying and comment on whatever she's saying because she's gonna say the most off the wall, against the grain type thing. You know, when this comes out, she's gonna be, of course, the person who's standing next to him in the White Lives Matter shirt. Come on, I think she's following the same blueprint as him. She's just not as smart as him, I guess you could say. So her angle is more Ash. Enjoy your day, Shy. Yeah, Stacy Dash. Stacy Dash, another mistake. Stacy Dash. And to think some of these people are my childhood heroes. Well, I wouldn't call her a childhood hero. I'd just call her a childhood crush. That's what I would say. Hero is a very strong word. But Kanye, I did really look up to when I was in high school and he was just gaining his popularity. He was a different voice for sure, but for different reasons. She is the female Uncle Ruckus. Yeah, anyways, y'all, thanks for joining. And I don't know what I have next on the agenda. I know I'm going to do a Survivor recap tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to do the recap for the season of Big Brother that I'm watching. Possibly tomorrow as well. Maybe Thursday, possibly Thursday. Yeah, I mean, Blues Clues, it's called being rich also. You can say anything you want when you make that much money. You could say anything you want when you're a billionaire. How about that? Scandals come and go and disappear in an instant. Unless it's like a Rico situation or something like that. You can say anything you want. There's no such thing. Let me tell you something. I was about to go, but just reading your comment about freedom of speech, I don't even have freedom of speech on this YouTube page. There's certain things that I could say on this YouTube page right now that would get my channel taken down in 5 minutes. How about that? He can go on a huge platform that millions of people are watching and say anything. It's not going to affect his life. People are just going to talk about it. And he's going to go back to his mansion and he's going to wear his plastic bag clothing and his boots, his Yeezys just disappear onto his ranch and he's going to be good. So speech only applies to the people who have money. How about that? I remember I posted a video of a rally that I went to in 2020. They took it down on Instagram. They took it down on Instagram because it said the info contained in my video might affect the upcoming election. My little page that had probably 400 followers at the time took down my post just like that. How did they even see it? I don't know. So yeah, I mean, if freedom of speech was the same for everyone, I would say yeah, freedom of speech, but it's not. So